do with this? So according to me, reflection plays an important role in professional learning because that is how you deepen your learning. Because learning is happening, not that learning doesn't happen. But remember, we need to deepen our learning, and reflective practice helps in deepening our learning. And another important benefit of reflective practice is it helps us to make sense of what we have learned. It's not just about learning some new theories or new techniques or new problem solving approaches, etc. It's also about how do we make sense of what we have learned. In psychology and in related fields, there is what is called a sense making approach. We are all the time making senses, and we are who we are based on our sense making approaches. So reflective practice helps us also in making sense of what we have learned. It's also about, putting each one small incremental learning into the overall big picture, because we need to look at the big picture. We need to be looking at the immediate, smaller, incremental learning that is happening. So that's why we believe that reflection is important in any professional development program or continuous professional program. Usually, reflection is considered as more, cognitive or a theoretical, contemplative, philosophical activity. But reflective practice has made us realize that it is emotional as well as physical too. It's important that it's not just a cognitive activity, but it is an emotional one, because you will see that you will try to empathize more only when you do practice this reflective practice. And also it is more physical. In what sense it is physical? It is physical as in we are in the present and we are actually doing things. Because we are doing things, that's why it is physical. And it also helps us to view issues from different perspectives. I'll give you some examples a little later. So some people ask me this question. So you've been talking about reflective practice. Is it the same as reflection? I say yes and no. Yes, it is reflection, but no, it is not just reflection, because it is something more than reflection. What is the difference? In reflection, it is just contemplation. It's just in your head. It's not in the head process, but it is a process of capturing that in some form or some media. It could be spoken, it could be written, or it could be even pictorial form. Now, some people do doodling, right? You might have heard of doodling. So they capture their feelings or learnings through this doodling or pictures. So the difference between reflection and reflective practice is, whereas reflection is in the head, reflective practice is in some representation, either written or spoken or pictorial, in some systematic basis. So all this makes reflective practice a good tool for self-development. It makes us enhance our ability. So I'll just quickly run through some of them because of paucity of time. As I said earlier, reflection and reflective practice, or I would call them as a spectrum. So you start with reflection and end with reflective practice. So reflection is a mental process, as I already mentioned, wherein we contemplate, we think about what happened, what we experience, what did we learn from our own experience and others' experience. Because we are trying to look beneath the event. See, event happened, something good, bad, whatever event that has happened, we just move on. No, we have to reflect, contemplate on it, and that is reflection. All of you know about Confucius. According to Confucius, there are 3 methods by which we can learn wisdom. The first one is by reflection. Second one is by imitation, which is easier. And third one is by experience, which is the bitterest. So in a way, reflective practice combines the first, which is noblest, and the third, which is the bitterest, because you are trying to blend these two into experiential learning. That is what reflection is. Another term that actually is confused with reflection because these are all the terms that we deal with when we talk about reflective practice. That is reflexivity. Reflexivity basically is finding a way to stand outside, taking a step back, and then get more objective view of ourselves. What is that step back mean? Because we examine ourselves and our values through someone else's lens. Basically, we are trying to do that. Okay. So here, who am I? Because this cartoon character exemplifies what is reflexivity. Am I the lines or am I the space between? That's a very important learning for us to understand, taking a step back and taking a helicopter view of ourselves. The next in the continuum is critical reflection. Critical reflection comes from Greek philosophy based on the Socratic method. Many of you might have heard of Socratic method, particularly in learning and teaching and training. Socratic method is important, wherein learning happens through questioning. Okay, if you say, "I am happy," well, I ask the question, "Why are you happy?" Then you have to answer that. Then you realize whether you are happy or not. If you say, "I am unhappy," then you have to ask the question, "Why are you unhappy?" So through questioning, that is Socratic method, we try to have a critical reflection of the event. So basically, it is a questioning method to solve problems, to challenge the status quo, and examine our own assumptions. That's also important. We examine our assumptions through critical reflection. Basically, this is a quote. Lens theory suggests that apart from reflecting on our own personal belief, we reflect through others' lenses. Let me share a very, I mean, it was a learning experience for me. See, I have had many interactions and many visits I made to Malaysia, professional visits, etc. And I have many great friends, professional friends, who have become personal friends in Malaysia. And I have seen the change that has happened there in Malaysia over the last 30, 40 years. So I was meeting with this friend, and my friend, she knew me, we knew each other very well. We knew our belief systems, whether belief system, as in, for example, I'm a vegetarian. So she knew that I'm a vegetarian, and nobody questions, why you, and etc. Right? So she brought her two friends in Malaysia. As you know, I mean, even though it's voluntary, most women wear the hijab. So two friends were there. They were wearing hijab. My friend was not wearing a hijab for lunch. So we were all having nice, friendly get together. And honestly, in a way, I'm ashamed, but I'm not so ashamed. Let me put it this way. I was thinking, in our usual lens, my usual lens, because I'm all for women's empowerment and all of that, right? I'm thinking that they are not free to dress the way they want because they are wearing hijab. Don't get me wrong here, okay? This was one of the assumptions that I had. So I had a sense of, let me put it that way, sympathy and empathy for these two ladies. And then while having lunch, they suddenly discovered that I'm not eating many of them. And as I said, I'm a vegetarian, so I don't eat meat. You should have seen the sympathy that was there in their eyes. So here I am thinking that their plight is something that, I should be sympathetic about, but they were sympathetic about it is not a plight, it is my choice, but still I'm a vegetarian, right? So the point I'm trying to make is the lens theory helps us in understanding that this is not just the one view that you should be having. That's what is meant by critical reflection. It's not just saying our assumptions and our theories are right. So reflective practice, we all go through this, correct? As a teacher, I might be thinking, oh, these students, they are idiots, they can't understand anything. But students will be thinking, oh, this teacher is an idiot, she cannot explain things properly. Both are true. You agree with me, right? So reflective practice is the use of self-analysis to understand and evaluate and interpret events and experience in which we are in. So thereby, that's why, in training and in group meetings, etc., it helps us to clear the air, clear the misunderstanding. I think that the student may not be understanding because I think they have not done their homework, they have not done their proper background study, etc. But the students are thinking she's going overboard. She's not able to explain things properly to us. She should explain in a way that actually is understandable to us. As I said, both are true. That is what reflective practice helps us. So, as trainers, as teachers, and as learners, we need to understand this, that reflective practice, if it is done in a systematic way, it helps us build this bridge, you can say, between the two views. That is one thinking that the other does not understand, and the other thinking the other does not explain things. So, from reflection to reflective practice, this is how it goes. It's thinking, it's here using this method for personal and professional